Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar series. This is episode 4, and today we are going to be talking about the IRE experience, the International Roofing Exposition that happened last week in Las Vegas. So if you are new to this series, these are regular events that we run. They last between 30 and 45 minutes. We want these events to be very feature-centric and use case-centric around the technology that Eagleview offers. All those events are recorded and they are available on YouTube as a playlist. So you can flash this QR code, or you can find it very easily on our website in the webinar hub. So today we have a few people that are going to be joining me. I'm Dimitri, I'm your host. I handle product marketing for Eagleview One. We are going to have some feedback or remarks for some of our executives that came with us at the show last week, Alan and Scott. Alan and Scott unfortunately couldn't join us live today, so you will basically see a recording of a conversation I had with them yesterday on their takeout. And at the end of the show, we will have a Q&A session where Elizabeth and Russ will join me to help answer any question that you might have. Now, talking about questions, please, you should see on the interface of the software platform we're using that there's a Q&A tab. Use the Q&A tab to ask your question. You can use the chat if you want to react, share some of your feelings or emotions. But for the question, please use the Q&A tab. This help us track the question and also make sure that if there are open questions at the end of the webinar, we can come back to you and answer them. So that's for the logistics. So what are we going to talk about today? So the agenda is pretty straightforward. I'm going to share with you some of the thoughts that were discussed from an industry standpoint at the show. And these include some information I collected from conversation with our CEO and CTO. Then we actually recorded a small film about some of the moments on our booth and interaction with our customers. So we will be playing this film. There's actually quite a few video playing in this episode today. After that, we will hear the remarks from Alan and Scott. And finally, probably I would say the meat or the pièce de résistance in the episode today. I will do a demo. Actually, I will play a demo. I pre-recorded that demo as well of what we showed at the show last week, which is our upcoming version update of the property viewer, where beyond roofing, we are now going to support walls, windows, and doors. So you are going to see a preview of this product, which is going to be available for existing customers in February and for our new customers in March. So that's the plan for today. So let me first paint the high-level picture of what we heard at IRE last week. And then there's three main messages that I want to carry out here. The first one is there was a lot of discussion about workforce shortage, which seems to be a common theme happening all across the industry. And the consequences of that is that most of the organization or contractors we talk to are really focused on making sure that they can make their workers knowledgeable and as efficient as possible, so that they can basically fill the gap in availability of resources, making the people you have, the staff you have, more effective or more capable or more efficient on the job, so you can absorb the demand. Now, on the demand side, there is also, we see some increasing pressure on pricing and affordability. Major weather events that are not necessarily planned by the customers, also the increase of the premium for insurance. So there is an overall issue on how can I, as a contractor, make my services more affordable, which means how can I be more efficient and how can I reduce my costs. And this is an area where obviously, as we said, training more your people, having the right tool, having the right technology can be of a help. And finally, you'll hear from a couple of our remarks later on in the show that technology such as AI is pretty much everywhere right now. So we also heard a lot of questions from our customers, how do I get started? And this is an area where we, Eagleview, as a software technology provider, will be able to help in terms of probably more consultancy approach to help you find out what are the best technologies for you to implement, whether they come from us or whether they come from other parts of the industry. So these are the top very high level trends, which are not necessarily only related to what we offer, but we thought it would be interesting for us to share these few remarks with you. So I'm going to line up our little film now so we can watch that, which is the next part of our episode this morning. And here we go.
Me about our new brand.
How do I sign up for Eagleview One?
How can Eagleview determine the roof age?
When is Eagleview One going to have wall reports and full house available?
People have been asking me about property data, like our roof age and roof condition. Eagleview's machine learning property data. AI is all the buzz in not only the roofing industry, but all over today. And our property data is integrated into more and more platforms, and really it's an understanding of where the property data and AI is really going to reside and add value to the customer's workflow streams.
I think that's all we get is the premium roof reports. It just gives us everything we need. We have used on occasion when we get into a siding, we do full storm restoration, so when we're arguing with insurance on the siding or any kind of exterior damage other than the roof, then that full report from Eagleview that gives us all those, the window cutout, the wall square footage, those kind of things help quite a bit.
Eagleview's new customer success team is here to make sure that every customer meets their intended outcomes and has a great customer experience.
Here we go. So this is the small film we had prepared for the show for you, and I hope you enjoy that. There was a lot of energy during the show, a lot of interactions. So we were really thrilled and motivated. So hopefully we'll see you next year when we return to IRE. Let me get the right deck here and make sure that we can continue with our presentation this morning. Here we go. So we've seen the movie, and now I sat with Alan and Scott yesterday and captured their remark. So we're going to be listening to their remarks now as a next segment in our presentation this morning. So let's go with Alan first. Hey Alan, welcome to our episode. I know you cannot be live with us today, but we sat yesterday and recorded your remarks. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you walk you through your thoughts about IRE.
Sure. Thank you, Dimitri. And my apologies for not being able to make it. I would have loved to have been there. But IRE 2026 Las Vegas was quite a show. The quality of the attendees was higher than I had ever seen in historical IREs. I don't know that it was the largest participated show I'd ever seen, but the people who made the commitment and intention to go had real business on their mind. They had real problems they were trying to solve, and they wanted to have real discussions about what the future was going to look like. Real strong executive participation at the show across just about every conversation that I had. There was an increased demand for partnerships, whether you integrate with other companies, how do I bring my software platforms together? How do I make my workflow integrate with the way that my distribution and manufacturers want to do business? And how is that recorded? Came up quite often. Every conversation I had dealt with something about AI and how it was going to affect the market. Some thought positively, some thought negatively. However, everyone had an opinion and everyone wanted to talk about it. And the optimism of it, I think, certainly outweighed the negative. But it was really interesting to hear different people's opinions on how they felt AI was going to affect them directly. And then the last thing that was really clear from our customers directly to us is, and I don't think we were unique, but step up your value, deliver more value. And if you don't continue to improve and don't continue to make things better, and any company that doesn't do that isn't going to survive, because things are changing extremely, extremely quickly. Those were my big takeaways.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And maybe as a closing for this short interview, what's your most memorable moment, either on the show on the floor, or meeting customers or interacting with people? What was your best time at IRE?
The best time for me, and this is selfishly, but the best time for me, and this happened on 6 different occasions in the booth over the 2 days that I was there, and I don't spend a whole lot of time in our own booth, but the time that I did spend, I had no less than 6 people come up to me and say, we used to be customers of yours, and we wanted to come and talk to you about coming back because we're hearing things about what you're doing and different pricing plans that you have, and so on and so forth. So there's all kinds of funny things that can happen at a show, but there's nothing in the whole entire world from a customer success manager that warms your heart more than a customer saying, I tried to find value somewhere else and couldn't find what you guys deliver. And that, may not be funny, but it warmed my heart. Although there was one funny part of it, and that was when I asked one of them, hey, would you mind giving us a testimonial? And he's like, I got nervous and scared. He's like, I don't like to be on camera. He really kind of backed off of it a little, and I thought that was interesting. So that was my experience.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Alan, and we look forward to have you live in one of our future episodes.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. Have a great day. And all you folks, enjoy the rest of the webinar. I'm sure it's going to be very informative.
Great. Now let's hear from Scott on his remark of the IRE show as well. Hi, Scott. Welcome to our episode today. So I know you unfortunately couldn't join us live, but we sat together and I recorded your thoughts on IRE 2026. So you have the floor.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Dimitri. Looking back on IRE, it was a highly productive show with really strong engagement. The booth saw a steady flow of traffic throughout the show. We were staffed strongly, so we had plenty of guys and gals to have meaningful conversations with nearly any attendee that stopped by. And we were busy the entire time, which was really great. Sometimes in Vegas, you never know, but this year was fantastic. Big thing that I saw was AI was dominant. It was a dominant theme across the floor. Many attendees proactively asked about AI before we even introduced it. They were seeing a wide range of AI-driven CRMs and services, and you can just tell there's an appetite for AI and how it can impact our contractors' businesses. As far as Eagleview, you could tell property data was a clear differentiation. Customers showed a significant interest in our property data, particularly around lead generation and lead qualification use cases. There's also interest in our partnership with Reworked AI, which is a great partner, which takes the property data that we provide and marries it with propensity data and customer buying signals. And so I know that they've got a lot of traffic as well, and is a great partner of ours. Also, the subscription model through Eagleview One meaningfully changed our buyer conversation. So customers responded positively to availability of the subscription option, enabling more realistic switching discussions and reducing concerns that Eagleview is significantly more expensive. So, and then also strong traction for the Walls Property Viewer across regions. Customers from every region expressed strong interest in the Wall Property Data Viewer that Dimitri, you showed yourself, and we're busy doing the entire time. So it gives you a broader view of the property, all of the exterior walls, roofs, and puts it in a three-dimensional view, so you can edit and tweak and pull out the data that you need, which was really, really, I don't know, I think it was really impactful for most of the customers that saw it. And also just, I think, the most memorable moment from Eagleview is we gave this property data viewer, we were running these closed sessions, and I had dinner with one of the customers after, and he's like, "Hey, how do I just get it just myself? Like, how do I like, I need this tomorrow, and how do I become the first one to use it?" And to be honest, like, it was the most memorable, but it was one of those things I heard over and over again throughout the week. So it's pretty cool when you work hard to put together a product that the industry needs and get the response that we did.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of momentum about getting more data more quickly into your workflows and to improve efficiency here. Thank you so much, Scott, for sharing your thoughts here. And I look forward to invite you live this time in one of our future episodes.
No, I'd love to make it. Thank you so much, Dimitri.
So we heard from Alan, from Scott here, and by the way, we did some private preview of a very early version of product during IRE, which we cannot share at this moment, but we will be sharing what Scott mentioned in terms of ability to navigate property data in a future episode, probably during Q2. So now, we mentioned several times that we did demonstrate the upcoming version of the property viewer that now goes beyond roofing and pretty much covers all the measurements that are available from our reports in a 3D way interactive interface. So I'm going to run the demo of the product. And what I did is I recorded the way I presented to our customers. So it also includes the narrative and how I basically caught their attention and shared the demo and the new information. So we're going to be running this now, so you can see what we previewed, pretty much like if you were at the IRE show yourself. So let's look at the demonstration that we did for most customers and prospects that were visiting our booth and had some interest in Eagleview One at the IRE roofing show in Las Vegas. What I would usually do is on the section of the booth where I was doing the demonstration, I would have a slide displayed, which represents on the left side, as you can see, the classic PDF report, and on the right side there will be a 3D model of the same property. So I use that as an eye catcher or conversation opener for the attendees that will come around and start asking questions. And then the second thing I will usually do is I will switch to the very common classic PDF report that our customers who order property information are used to. In this case, I'm showing the full house. The news in this version of the product is that we used to only support roof in the 3D model, and now we support roof, doors, windows, and also what we call full house. So I would show this report and I would explain that if you are a Eagleview One customers, you always still receive the same report, but the thing that is new is that you now have a button here in the report where you can go and open the tool that allows to do the 3D visualization. Now you can also directly log into the Eagleview One portal, but you can get access from the report as well. So we're going to do that here. Go into Chrome. We are going to authenticate to the Eagleview One application. And upon authentication, we are presented with the new, what we call the property viewer software here. The first thing I like to do when I show the property viewer is I say, well, obviously you can rotate and you can see that this is a 3D model. But before we go into the details on how the property viewer works, I like to remind people that one of the benefits of the property viewer is that it also comes with imagery. Now, we're not providing the full imagery capability that Eagleview offers, but in the context of the property, you are going to find the overhead, north, east, west, and south view of the property. And you also have, depending on the property, but this is the case here, you have access to historical information. So you can see that we have the 5 images that were used to make the measurements available for the property. But you can also see that there was another set of high resolution images that were taken from the property more recently, and you can actually see some changes here. For instance, they've been creating a swimming pool. So this also gives you a kind of a preview of what you can imagine the software will add in terms of change detection and change management. So that's just a little pitch on the imagery. So now we're going to focus on the property viewer itself. Before we get into the details of what's new with walls, windows, and doors, which you can already see a little bit appearing on this model, just want to remind a little bit some of the capabilities of the viewer in general. So you can obviously zoom in, zoom out in the 3D model. We have a number of display options which are accessible with this toolbar here. So you can, for instance, display the parcel boundaries if you want. You have the ability to remove the label on the roofs if you want a more, the cleaner model initially. You can even remove the whole imagery. If you've seen our first episode of the property viewer where we had our guest customer Jeremy, he actually mentioned that when he's working on the property, he actually likes to remove all distraction and really focus purely on the 3D model. So that's an option you can have. One interesting thing that we have added recently, and which is also available for roof in the new version, is that you can overlay the imagery of just the roof on the 3D model. So if you're doing purely a roof job here, it might be interesting to have the imagery so you can see the different types of materials. Now, in this case, there's only one single type, but it's an interesting option. So let's just keep the 3D model in the imagery. You can also manipulate this model. So you've seen that we can obviously rotate it and zoom in, zoom out, but we can also pan cross. And let's say we want to focus on the second structure here. We can very easily recenter that structure and play with the model. And we can also navigate between the different views if we want directly from those buttons here. So a lot of possibilities, and we've shown that at length in previous episodes. So now let's focus on what is new with the upcoming of a wall, windows, and doors. There are a few changes in the interface. So if you look on the far right side of the interface, you can see that now we have structure and penetrations. So structure here allows us to select roof or walls. So you can see that right now we have for the property 2 structured, and we have both selected. So I'm going to deselect roof here, and I can now, if I want, focus on only one of the 2 structures that is available. And if I collapse this, structure 2 is going to appear, so I can see that there are 2 facets. If I want, I can obviously add facets from the second structure. I just shift click on here, and obviously you can see that the calculation are automatically done here for the 3 facet. Now I have the total square footage. So this is not new. We had that for a while, and you can very easily copy the data and paste it into another tool. So let's now keep on focusing on the structure 2 here. And what is new here is now I have walls. So if I open the walls tab here, you can see that the different sidings are starting to appear for structure 1, which is not selected at this point, and for structure 2, which is not selected either. Let me go back here. Sorry, this is a live demo. So I am going to go back to walls, and I'm going to select the wall for structure 2. So you can see that for structure 2, we have 4 sidings that are available. I can rotate this and you can see them available all around here. And those sidings, we do have the different information that appears here for the windows, the fascia, bottom of the sidings, and all those kind of elements. Now, note that in this property, we only have, I would say, the classic sidings. If we had masonry, they would appear, and you would have a tag masonry here. Now, we've looked at the two different structures, so either the roof or the walls, and we have selected the walls. Now, what is interesting is that we can also go into penetration here, and this is where the system is going to highlight for us the different windows. We can see that we have 2 windows here, and the doors, we have 1 door on this structure. And same thing, we can manipulate that model, and we can decide to select only one of the window here, or select the second one, deselect this one, and also rotate and deselect the door over here. So you can do all the manipulation that you want and select the different parts that you are interested, depending on your project and depending on the job that you have to do. So here I'm selecting 1 door and 1 window. What is also coming with this new version is that if I go back now to the whole structure, and let me deselect the second structure and only select the first structure here, and I'm going to move that model here, you can now see that I also have the penetration for the roof that are available. And this used to be a capability that was only available on our premium report. But if you are on Eagleview 1 and you have the roof capability here, you are going to see the penetration on the roof as well. And this is an area where being able to overlay the structure can give you actually a pretty interesting insight, because you see on the image the different penetrations, and you can see the label of the different penetrations. So that's the brief overview of the new capability, where the 3D models now becomes a full 3D model of the property, where you have all the different dimensions for the roof, for the walls, and for the windows. One last thing that I'm going to do here, let me just refresh the model here, so we restart from the very beginning. One of the key capability of the property viewer, which we have already demonstrated in the past, but that really takes its full power, is that I can say, well, I'm going to focus only on structure 2 here, so for the roof and for the walls, and I can now go into share here, and I can generate a report that is going to be only for this selected information that I have here. So the report is being calculated. So if you think about it, when you are on Eagleview 1, when you're ordering the data for a property, what you're fundamentally doing is that you're ordering the data. And once you have this data, you can slice and dice it however you want. You can select some facets, select some walls, and create a report only for this selection. So this is pretty interesting if you do several jobs on the same property. You start maybe with a portion of the roof and you only use that report, and then you come back to the customer and you want to do something else. You already have the data and you can generate a new report specifically for this portion of the property. So let me open the report here, and you can see that on the report I have only the structure 2 that has been selected. And if I go down, all those things will be reflected. So we see the measurement only for the selected portion. So you get the data once, and you can generate as many reports as you want for the property. So that was the overview of the upcoming version of the property viewer. Will be available to our existing Eagleviewer customer in February, and it will be available in March for new customers. Thank you. Wonderful. So that's pretty much IRE. Like if you were there, you've just missed the Las Vegas buzz and hype, and maybe the fun as well. So maybe we'll see you next year. At this point, I'm going to ask Elizabeth and Russ to join on stage, and we're going to have a look at whatever question you guys have, and we can answer them, and we'll be done for the day.
Yep. If you guys have any questions, you can add them to the question box, but we've got a couple that I wanted to share. One of the questions was, what somebody saw at the demos of Eagleview 1 at IRE was for primarily single-family residential. They were wondering if the application also works for commercial, multifamily, or larger structures. You want to take that one, Russ?
Sure. Yeah. So all our products do work for all types of structures. So we've done high rises, we've done schools, we've done commercial buildings, right? Multifamily residences, etc. So all it really takes is an address, to generate the data. So.
Yeah, and I would like to actually complement that, Russ, because I had that exact same question from one of our customers. And unfortunately, the version we demonstrate was still in early stage. So the only property I had available at that point was commercial. But I was talking with somebody who's working, I think, for a series of warehouse, and was actually explaining that sometimes it requires several iterations between Eagleview and her to get all the different structures. Now, as Russ said, in this next version, you just put an address, and if there are 7 structure, you get the 7 structure, and you can very easy, as you saw in the demo, select the one you want and focus on that one. So definitely, we not only cover residential, but the way we deliver the data, again, address-based, makes it much more simpler to actually focus on a subset of the property.
All right. Another great question that we got, Jason was curious if the imagery available in Eagleview 1 is the same imagery in Connect Explorer, or is it different and updated with a different frequency?
Yeah, so as hopefully everyone knows, right, we have quite a large fleet of aircrafts, and we fly all across the US and take these high resolution images, right, and derive, our measurements products or property data products. But yes, the imagery that is in Cloud Explorer is directly from those capture systems when we fly, and are available and Connect that is what you see.
Okay. Vincent would like to know, when would I be able to start an Eagleview 1 account if I'm a new customer? I deal with commercial work and I need a full report immediately. I'll take that one. Vincent, we will reach out to you after this call and put you in touch with your rep who can get you some information quickly, and we can get you a report ASAP. And then Julio also wants to know if a rep can come to my office, do a demo, and talk to me about subscriptions. Absolutely. We will follow up with you as well, Julio. So thank you guys for those questions. All right, Russ, this one's for you. Can Eagleview read blueprints yet? If not, is that something that is coming?
Yes, so we do have a blueprints product. It is supported for roofs currently. We are exploring full exterior solutions here in the near future. So we can get you some information on how to order the blueprints product. You can go on My Eagleview, and it is one of the options next to the address search bar. Just toggle the blueprints ordering and upload your blueprint. It needs to have certain requirements that, or all the instructions should be there in the ordering page, and yeah, we can fulfill a roof.
Awesome. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think that's it.
Last call for questions. Going once. Going twice. Well, thank you so much for attending today. I hope you found our recap or IRE interesting, and also I hope you're inspired by new capabilities that we are launching soon, and really the completion of the 3D model for the full house. And we will return. We haven't set the date yet. Next month in February, we will have a larger event where you also all will be invited, where we will get more into the details of the full house product that we are previewed today. And we will return in March, subject and date to be announced, but we will for sure communicate that to you as soon as we know. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to see you next time.
Thanks, Dimitri.